Hello, and welcome to another edition of Great Offices. Today we're in Warrenton, Virginia, located about an hour away from Washington, D.C. We'll be talking to broker owners Chuck and Helen Cornwell of RE/MAX Regency. I'm Gail Liniger. Get ready for another great office.
Join us on an incredible journey into what makes an office a great office. Welcome to Great Offices.
Thanks for joining us. We're in RE/MAX Regency's new building, and joining us now is Karan Stokes, Regional VP of the Central Atlantic region. Karan, thanks for being with us today.
Pleasure to be with you.
Why did the region choose Chuck and Helen to receive the Broker Owner of Excellence Award?
Well, the Broker Owner of Excellence Award in Central Atlantic exemplifies some of our people who show leadership, participate in the region, have net gain and recruiting successes. And Chuck and Helen in 2006 really demonstrated that for us. And so in 2007 in our awards ceremony, we celebrated that and recognized their achievements in the office.
If there are one or two things that stand out in the region, what would they be?
Well, I think when you look at our offices in the region, we've got a lot of them, and a lot of them are outstanding and they're exceptional. But Chuck and Helen's just have this warm, inviting atmosphere for their customers and also for their agents. And it just is a tremendous environment that they create that's positive and full of synergy for the associates. And so that really is what makes them stand out in our marketplace.
What elements do you see unique to Chuck and Helen that make them successful?
What I've found with Chuck and Helen, it's awesome when you watch them. They not only are obviously married, but they're great business partners. They truly enjoy the business itself and have a lot of fun doing that. And I think anytime you see business partners that can also just have fun, they create an atmosphere where people succeed, people want to work for them, and they really help promote the RE/MAX brand within the region. And that's pretty unique to find people that are exceptional at doing that.
You have a lot of offices in the region. What sets this office apart?
I would say the design of the office, first of all, they took everything into consideration. What's the experience that the customer has when they walk in the door? What's the experience of the agent and the associate? They have a lot of events here, and they kept that in mind when they designed and built this beautiful building. It was an ability for them to look in the future of their business and really say, these are the spaces we need to accomplish our goals and to get our value and our message across to the community that we're serving.
What could you tell us about Chuck and Helen that they wouldn't say about themselves?
You know, Chuck and Helen are extremely humble. They've got this stick-to-it attitude, but they've been extremely successful, and it always hasn't been an easy go for them, but they've always continued to go back and work harder and try to reinvent their business. They participate in every event that we have in the region and the events that we participate with international. And they're just exceptional at doing that. They do it with grace. They like to have fun, and they're just great people to be around. They make you better when you're around them. They're the type of people that when you spend time with them, you end up brainstorming with them almost every time you talk with them. And that's just something very, very unique to who they are as people.
Karan, thanks for sharing the region's perspective with us.
Thank you.
Next, we'll talk to Chuck and Helen Cornwell and find out what makes RE/MAX Regency such a great office. But first, let's find out more about the Warrenton area.
Situated in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, Warrenton, Virginia has its own unique style and personality. And there's a lot of history here as well. The tradition and charm of bygone eras are apparent along Old Town Warrenton. Historic houses and brick sidewalks line the streets. This quaint town of 8,500 people is located 50 miles west of Washington, D.C., in the heart of Virginia's hunt country. The Warrenton Hunt was established in 1883 and still meets today. Every spring, the Virginia Gold Cup is hosted here, and every fall, the popular International Gold Cup brings horse lovers from around the world to Great Meadow. In addition to being known as horse country, Fauquier County has also been given the nickname Wine Country, another notable attraction in the area. The region is teeming with vineyards, and the 16 wineries here provide numerous activities for residents and visitors to enjoy. Even with the changes modern development has brought to the region, Old Town Warrenton still strives to maintain its small-town charm. The majestic columns and graceful spire of the old county courthouse, which is, by the way, still in use, beckon visitors to streets lined with well-preserved homes and appealing shops and restaurants. Beside the old courthouse is the old jail, a well-proportioned brick and stone building dating from 1808. It now serves as a museum. This is one of the few perfectly preserved old jails in the Commonwealth. A favorite Warrenton landmark is a statue of Chief Justice John Marshall, the fourth Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court. An area native, Justice Marshall began his law practice in Warrenton. Later, Warrenton came to be known throughout the nation for its abundance of brilliant lawyers. The legendary gray ghost of the Confederacy, Colonel John S. Mosby, practiced law in Warrenton before and after the Civil War. Many exploits of Mosby and his Rangers occurred in Warrenton and the surrounding area. Those who enjoy the great outdoors are drawn to the area for its incredible recreational opportunities and breathtaking scenery. The recently completed Warrenton Branch Greenway is a unique trail converted from a railroad right-of-way, the Warrenton Branch Spur Line. The trail stretches 1.5 miles and begins behind the Depot Restaurant in downtown Warrenton. Modern accommodations, shopping centers, and a variety of restaurants border the tree-lined Old Bypass area west of Old Town. Warrenton, Virginia has been transformed from the small courthouse county seat of Fauquier County to a commuter bedroom community. And that gives you some idea of what it's like to experience the warm hospitality, natural splendor, and storied past of Warrenton.
Thanks, Mark. With me now are broker owners Chuck and Helen Cornwall. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Gail, and thanks for coming and visiting with us.
Yeah, we're delighted to have you in town in our neighborhood.
Thank you. Please get us started by telling us why you decided to buy a RE/MAX franchise.
Well, it was in 1992, and we were with a company that had gone through a buyout, and in a matter of 2 years, we had gone through we had four managers. And the last manager that we had was a bit abrasive, and we had heard when we were spending our money on advertising, from an agent's perspective, we heard people at the front desk answering the phone calls and blowing our money that we had spent on the advertising. And so we had had enough of it, and RE/MAX actually called
us one day and said they'd done some research and they were looking to open up a franchise in the marketplace, and introduced us to the company. So we looked around, we saw some of the agents, some of the marketing, some of the creativity that this organization had, and we just fell in love with it. We thought, this is where we need to be, this is where we can expand our businesses and go to the next level in our real estate business.
Yeah, it was a newspaper. It was a RE/MAX Times. That's what it's called, RE/MAX Times.
Yeah.
And we sat down over the weekend and read through it, and I think that pretty much wrapped it up for us.
Tell us about your first office space.
Oh, the first office, a small little space that we took just to get going, just to get moving with the company. It was a location that's, we had space that we could expand into, so it was a nice option for that. It was about 1,000 square feet, with another 1,000 square feet that was opened up and ready for us to expand into, is what it was. So it was a fun time. It was a space that another office had been into, that it was challenged, and it was, a good opportunity for us. So,
what was recruiting like when you first got started?
Recruiting was challenging as well. So it was a tough market. 1992, the market was not very good at the time, is what it was.
Yeah, just taking a downturn.
Yeah, taking a downturn, and us being young and being with a brokerage owner, I was 25 years old at the time when we opened up the company. So it took 9 months, and one day after 9 months, we had 4 different people that joined the company all at one time. So it was pretty interesting.
I think some of the challenges of that were there was another office in town before us, and the one thing that we learned from buying the franchise and going through the training is, and I remember Laverne Bittner saying, don't give anything away. If you give it away, it doesn't have much value to it. And the office that we took over their space had been giving away, 9 months free as incentives to try to get agents to come in. And so when we first opened the doors, we had agents approaching us and asking, well, how much time are you going to give me for free? And we just kind of looked at each other and knew that Laverne had said, you don't do that. And so we didn't. We said, well, we're not giving anything for free. And we were trying to explain what the value was of just coming on board anyway. And started out with charging an initiation fee from the start. And so it took a long time. I mean, we had to change the mind of some of the agents in the area. But they came around slowly.
Why did you decide to build this office?
Oh, we were in an office space. We had moved from that first space into another building. We had a really nice traditional colonial house is what we were operating out of, a nice brick building, about 6,000 square feet, 4 floors. But as time went on, maintenance of the building had just fallen by the wayside. We were down to 2 bathrooms in this building, and ceilings were falling in. And just trying to be the quality company that we were, this just wasn't working. So we had to embark on finding another office space, finding a place for us to build. There was nothing else that was in this marketplace that was suitable for us, for the size and square footage we needed and layouts that we needed. So we figured we've got to go down the road of building our own building and designing something that works for us and for our company and for what the agents need. So
we had capped out on we didn't have any more space within the office for any more agents. And so the only way we could grow at that point was, either sending some of our agents home, which we weren't about to do, or everybody that came on would need to be an at-home agent. And we were actually down to 1 bathroom. As a woman, all the women knew we had 1 working bathroom and 6,000 square feet. It was pretty tight space. So that was the one thing that, we had to change. We literally had ceilings, some ceilings that had collapsed in on some of the agent areas. So it was time. And this is a very traditional area. We like the fact that it was a traditional office, but we didn't feel like we were a traditional company. And so it gave us an opportunity to just kind of change things up a little bit.
How did you design this space from an agent's perspective?
We were kind of looking at it from many different angles. One is that we wanted the agents' customers to feel comfortable coming in, and we wanted the agents to feel comfortable coming in. We wanted to have a place where they felt like they could gather. And in a lot of offices, I think that everybody tends to gather at the lobby, the front lobby. And so all of our agents, of course, gathered at the front lobby. We had a fireplace there, and so that was, of course, a natural draw. But then when a customer would walk in the door, then everybody would just scatter, and I think it made the customer feel a little uneasy, like they were breaking something up. And so we didn't want to didn't want to eliminate that gathering place for the agents. And we wanted the customers walking in the door to feel just as comfortable. And so that just became the basis of having an office with an agent lounge. We kept the fireplace in here because that's what people tended to gravitate towards. And then our lobby area is also, we wanted to keep it warm with a fireplace. And then all of the agents have to come through our lounge so that we know who's in. It gives a lot more opportunity for the agents to mix with each other, intermingle. If they want to get back to their offices, it's a little bit more private. Then they have the opportunity to walk through the agent lounge, say hello, get to meet and greet other agents, and then continue on to their office if they want to get their work done.
This offers networking opportunities for the agents to get together. The afternoons, they've had a challenging case or a challenging day. It gives them a place to come sit down and just talk with one another, and they help each other out with, through their challenging points and times. Part of our agent lounge we designed we put the kitchen counter into it and a center aisle into it. So, how people tend to congregate when you've got a party going, everybody goes to the kitchen. We find that everybody hangs at that center aisle, so it really does add camaraderie, keeps the unity in the company and the office.
Please give us a tour of this beautiful new building.
When you come into the front lobby area, we've set it up where we've got some open spaces in this area, where we've got some tables set up where if an agent's meeting with a client, but they don't want to commit to a conference room. Let's say they're meeting somebody for the very first time, and that can feel intimidating to a client to have to go into the conference room and sit down and, now what's going to happen to me sort of thing. So we've put some tables in downstairs where you have a couple of chairs where it's nice and light. There's lots of glass there, so you get a nice big open feeling. We put in a flat screen on the wall, and we have pictures that are rolling through there of some of our listings and our agents. Gives the client something to focus on if an agent's running a few minutes behind for an appointment. They got a couple of nice, comfortable places to sit down, watch that. They've got a fireplace there with them as well. Put a patio in right outside the main level outside, so again, it's a nice weather day. The agents can meet with a client in a different, more enlightening place where they don't feel so pressured.
Yeah, a little relaxed environment.
Very relaxed. So.
And the tables are kind of like a cafe feel. You know, the idea was just make it cafe. They can come in and not feel like, oh, we're going into the, you know, sales room.
Mm-hmm. But when it came to the conference rooms, we put the technology in there, and our agents love having that. We have flat screens on the walls on all of our conference rooms. We have the RSN hooked up into it, so agents can come in, they can get their training, you know, they can get their CRS, their ABR, whatever, and sit right in and take care of those things. Also to the client, somebody's coming in, they're interested in properties, they're interested in a home or something, the agent can pull the MLS data up, they can pull things up, show them on the screens. If they have their own presentations for a listing presentation or they're starting to talk with a buyer, they can put their own PowerPoints or such up on those screens and can really show off who they are and the technologies we have. I've had many of our agents that have told us that they have less pressure on their own commission structures and what they're charging their clients because they can easily just say, look, we're here, we're serious, we have the tools, we have the technologies that are here, and this stuff is not necessarily inexpensive, so we can't just market your property for, you know, $300 to list your property or to lower commission rates or such. So the agents really pull off that, and it helps them with their business and keeps their profits up.
The stairs, that's on the main level so that the customers pretty much are contained onto the main level. We wanted the agents to have the freedom to feel like this is their space. We have an eagle, there's a landing, and on the landing we have an eagle. Maybe we could have another opportunity to talk a little bit about the eagle, but just as a constant reminder to the agents as they're coming upstairs that we feel like they're all eagles. And then they come up into the agent lounge. We do a lot of training up here. We do, there's comfortable furniture, and the agents take advantage of that when they need a break in their office or they've had a difficult time negotiating something or whatever challenge that they're facing. They'll come out here and take a break, and then you find the other agents gathering around them. And then we have all of our administrative offices on one row.
So the agents know exactly where to go and get the help that they need. You know, for accounting staff, we have IT staff, our management staff. We've designed in spaces for a marketing center and all. So all of those elements that they need for their help and support is in one central location where they can get that help. And then from there, it rolls around where all the agents have their area, which is all in one big open area, offices surrounding the area, so it's got a nice traffic pattern. So agents can easily go around and see one another. It's easy for us to go around and do our management by walking around, by just walking around, saying hi to people, that sort of thing. It gives us a nice flow, so you're not obtrusive, you're not walking into somebody and they feel like they got to commit to talking with you, but you know, it's easy to see what's going on and they can see that you're around as well.
Tell us about the different office space you offer to the agents.
All our agents are different in how they work. We found that we have probably somewhere around now about 40% of our people work at home. So we put in the technologies and the things to support those people. But for the people that are in office, we've got varying degrees of office spaces for them as well. We have some offices that are just totally open with no furnishings, no anything into it, so they can come in and design it themselves. We have teams that come in, they put in their own furniture systems that work best for them. We have some agents that get together as groups that will put things in, and then we also have some spaces that are smaller spaces for people that don't come in very often to larger spaces for those that need to really spread out and have a lot of area.
How are the offices furnished?
Well, when we built the office, half of the offices were built with countertop going all the way around, and then they have a cubby, a wooden cabinet cubby above them. So there's 3 in each office, and then of course they have their file cabinets and their chairs. The other half of the office spaces that we built, we left vacant so that the agents could have the freedom to bring in their own furniture and personalize it a little bit more for them. If we had 2 agents that wanted to go in on an office, and they can do that. It gives them a little bit more flexibility. So we get a very eclectic look around here.
You talked earlier about the eagle on your stairway landing. What is the significance of the eagle there?
The Eagle started many years ago at one of the RE/MAX conventions when Dave rolled the tape for everybody, Ride the High Places. It's a wonderful motivational video that was done. From that moment on, I looked at Helen and just said, from here on out, everyone in our company, all our associates, all of our staff are Eagles. You've got to be an Eagle to be part of the company, and those are the people that we want, people with goals and focus and vision and that sort of thing. So the Eagle took off from there. We referred to people this way. We designed space around in this building. We found this foundry out on the Eastern Shore that this artist had made this Eagle. Spilling the Wind is the title of this piece. And we had to design a space around to put the Eagle in to be a constant reminder to everybody that this is the Eagles. This is where the Eagles are at. So. And from there, we've, all of our emails, all of our things that we put out to the agents, it's all captioned as Eagles. So it's a constant reminder to everybody that this is how we feel.
I think that video was really instrumental in that it talks a lot about the storms, how Eagles will, climb the high places in the storms, and that's the time for Eagles to really show what they're made of. And so we do a regular, maybe once every 2 years, show that again, just to show the agents, just to inspire them somewhat. And so this last year's been a great time to do that. People get chills when they see, greatness they're not born with the greatness. They have to learn it, and they have to weather the storms. And I think right now, the market that we're in is a great time, and that video just exemplifies how our agents are showing themselves as true Eagles.
How many agents will this office accommodate?
We built the facility here to house 65 associates, and we consider, our at-home people, that sort of thing. We wanted to make sure we had enough staffing support levels in here to support the 120 agent count. So that's what we're expecting to see. Currently in this marketplace, we have 265 agents that are here, and out of that, we comprise over 80 agents out of that number. So we have 26% of the agents here in the marketplace as it is. So we're a growing town, growing marketplace here, so we wanted to make sure we gave enough room for expansion over the years. It's a huge expense, a lot of time, everything in putting this building together, and we didn't want to have to be moving again in just 5 years' time down the road and doing this again. So we wanted to make sure we had the room for the growth opportunities that are here.
What did you have in mind when you designed this large open space for the agents?
We wanted it to be a gathering spot. We wanted it to be comfortable for the agents. Networking, more than anything, synergies. We wanted to be able to have the agents just be able to chit-chat openly and freely with the other agents. I remember feeling in our other office space when you went to go talk to an agent because they were in their office, it was a commitment on your part, and sometimes I think the agents feel trapped when someone else wants to chit-chat with them and they're trying to get their work done. So the idea with the agent open lounge was that it gave us a place where those agents that had the time to chit-chat could come out and chit-chat, take a break, without feeling as though we're imposing on them during their work time. We use it for a lot of networking events. We do a monthly wine and cheese, and usually we'll have 50, 60, 70. The last several months we've had 100 people gathered in this lounge, and we love the views from the windows. It's a second-story lounge, and so we get some very pretty views. It's relaxing.
It's given us a great opportunity to have some training events and such up here as well. We've even had outside people that have wanted to do some different training elements as well. We have one company that's come in, that one guy that's a mortgage broker, and he's a very big advocate of educating kids, teaching them how to manage finances, that sort of thing, and what home ownership means, that sort of thing, since the high schools and the schools around just don't teach this stuff anymore. He's come to our wine and cheese, and he was complaining that his only problem is he needs a place to actually host the event. It's minimum budget that they have, and they need a place to do this. I'm like, well, why don't you use this lounge? This would be a great spot. So he jumped in, he did it. They ran an article in the paper, and within the first 24 hours, we had space for about 25 people. Within the first 24 hours, he was nearly 40 people that had signed up. Before he started, it was 70-some people. This was a 10-week course that he's doing, one night a week. But just an example of how this helps our business is yesterday alone we had a walk-in that came in here for a guy who's wanting to be a real estate agent. And he said that I keep coming by your building over here and I see lots and lots of activity. So if I'm going to be in real estate, I need to be in a place where there's lots of activity. Versus, as he says, the other companies he kind of rides by in town, you know, by 5 o'clock it looks like they're locked up and everybody's gone. So, but here it looks like there's a lot happening. So I want to be somewhere where everybody's working and things are moving. So it helps it sell. It helps us out.
We like it when we go to the grocery store. We're coming home in the evening after driving to Manassas or something, and you can look up on the hill and see the office lit up, and we know there's activity going on. And that's what we want. We want the community to see that activity. So it kind of gives life to
and people
the
like
office.
to use the room because of all the glass, all the views, just a nice room that we've put together.
We do use it for our 100 Days to Greatness. And the advantage to doing that in the lounge is that we'll have a small group in here that will be going through the training. And as all the other agents, because they have to go through the lounge to get to their offices, they will see the training going on, and then they stop and pause, and they'll begin to watch and see what's going on. And we've had a lot of veteran agents that have signed up because they've seen the need for it, or they've been intrigued enough by what they're witnessing with the other agents going through the 100 Days to Greatness. And so it's worked out really well for that.
You mentioned the wine and cheese event. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Oh, that started right after we moved into the building, and it was time for a little celebration is what it was. We've gotten somewhat settled in, and it was like, okay, let's have a little party in here. So, and it's grown into a monthly networking event of wine and cheese is what we do, and you know, beer, wine, sodas, coffee, you know, whatever people would like.
Cider.
Sparkling cider, lots of sparkling cider we always go through. So,
and it grew also. The reason we continued it started out as a little bit of a celebration, but what we found is it was a really great opportunity for our agents to network with other agents. And we do invite other brokers and agents and people outside of our office, but still within the industry to come in, termite people, home inspectors. And what we found is that our local association used to do monthly get-togethers. And years ago, they just quit. And I think that when the market had gotten so heated up over the last few years, people just didn't take time to get to know the other agents on the other ends of transactions. And so this has given us an opportunity to let the agents get to know that people, you know, when you're dealing with agent to agent, even when they're with another company, they're a person. And it's a lot easier to negotiate with a person than just, you know, another name or somebody that's defending their buyers or whatever. So it helps to, I think, definitely make transactions go along a little bit smoother. And it's grown, and it continues to grow month after month.
yeah, the last couple of months we've had 100 or plus people that have shown up for it. It's very good. Some of the agents will bring their flyers and bring information on some of their listings, and we know we've had showings and sales just because of the agents getting together and networking with one another and you know showing off what they're marketing right now. So it's a great event.
It is. And it opens our doors. You know, it doesn't hurt to open the doors and have other agents just see what we're about. So that helps.
How do you notify people about this event?
We've got a database of names in my computer is what we have. I have over like 1,300 names and addresses that we've been able to pull, and we send out notices to everybody just to let them know. And now I've got people calling me different companies with doing other support systems or whatever from a welcome wagon that's wanting to introduce welcome new people to the community, that sort of thing, that all want to be part of that list, so that way they're getting notified each month and know that we're doing that. So
Even the dentist.
Yeah.
I don't know. Word has been traveling. I mean, Chuck is very, very consistent about sending out his emails, announcing and reminding people that it's the fourth Thursday of the month. Our wine and cheese is, coming up this week, and then word of mouth. It seems to be spreading and growing from word of mouth.
yeah.
What other events do you do together as an office?
We try to do something at least every quarter is what we try to do. We've done things where we've do a night at the Charlestown racetrack, the horse racetrack, and we'll go out and we'll have dinner and get a nice gathering, get a bus together that drives us up there and puts that on. We've done...
we try to do that every fall.
Every fall we
Seems
try
to
to
be
do
a nice
that.
time. The weather is nice.
Yeah. We've closed off our entranceways out here in the springtime is what we did, and we actually brought a band in, and we brought in a big community event, and that was great, bring the agents in, brought the Remax balloons in and stuff like that. It was really great for that as well, too. So a little more camaraderie between the neighborhood, and again, it was getting all the agents together, and, it's opening up the office and letting people see that we're here as well, too.
We tend to have a lot of potlucks. Our agents like to do potlucks, and so we have a lot of potluck events, and those are usually kind of spontaneous. Organized Christmas seemed like we always were trying to outdo every Christmas. We had to do something a little bit more exciting, a little bit nicer. We would do murder mystery, wine tasting, cruises on the Dandies, things like that. And we have finally resolved that the agents really prefer to have a potluck Christmas dinner. And I think they just feel comfortable. It's a way for their family to be involved. And we like to involve family in all of the events that we do. And some of the spouses, you know, they come up all the time and say that they enjoy coming to the events. So it's very important to us. And so now I think we've finally said, well, all right, potluck Christmas will be what it's going to be about. But, and then we do, for fundraising, the agents, we've got such a great group of agents, and they really pull together and do what they feel is important. We've got Habitat for Humanity, a committee that meets every other week in here, and they have sponsored events, spring fling dances. We're going to have our own little mini long drive contest, and all of the agents rally around this and support it. So we do a lot of events.
American Cancer Society, we've got a few cancer survivors in our company as well too. So you know, we get a big group together and we go to those events as well. Do the modeling. We've got some models, so those are great as well.
I remember something. There's a really good opportunity in a lot of communities. In our community, we have some little transit buses that ride around, and we ended up buying advertising to put on the sides of the buses, and actually we can't take credit for that. That was Remax Crossroads. We saw their bus with their ad, and it just really caught our eye. Well, the advantage to it is that it also helps to keep the cost down for the elderly and low-income people in the community that want to be able to ride the bus. So
yeah, it gives them the opportunity to actually sell the tickets or sell somebody, you know, a quarter to $1 or whatever to ride the bus, where we have an ad that we're paying for, so that sponsors the whole thing is what it does. So it's really great.
The agents came up with.
Yeah, the agents came up with that. That was really good.
What is and how does your IP phone system work?
But we found over the years, you know, we've got a number of agents that are working at home, and how can we better support those people? Not only that, this system that we've put in place can help an agent who has support staff. Let's say they've got somebody who's maybe in another state or around the world for that matter, and they want them to help them with their real estate business and all. This is where this IP phone system can come into play. IP phone systems are ones that you plug them into an internet connection anywhere in the world, high-speed internet connection, and you're on our phone system. You have your direct numbers that come right to your phone. They ring. You've got one-button access to all the key staff in the company. You've got multiple lines. You can transfer calls out. All those things a regular office phone line will do, or a phone will do, anywhere in the world connected. We have some teams that are actually work collectively in their own houses, so we can actually give them IP phones, and they can have one phone number. It rings both their houses. They can see if each other's on the line by a little light and a button. It's a fabulous new tool that we actually have that's available for the agents to use to help their businesses.
It sounds so simple. It seems so simple, but until you actually witness it, you know, we brought an IP phone home, and we can hear the front desk when they're paging anybody that they need. They've got a customer in the lobby, and it comes through our phone at home. So you really feel connected to the office, even though you're at your own home. So it's been a really nice tool for at-home agents.
Mm-hmm.
What other tools and services does Remax Regency offer the agents?
We pull off of every tool and everything that we can that Remax International and Regional Office utilizes. I mean, we use the RSN, we use the Coaching Hall of Fames, the Supercharge Your Career events, the conventions and such. But we do feel like we have to add a lot more to that mix, because real estate is local. So we have to add to the tools. We have to add to the benefits that are there. I like to go out and tout, I feel like we have the best tooled, best trained agents in the industry because of using these things. But things that we've been able to add on to it, our regional office had brought in with us. Karan had introduced at one of the broker owner meetings, and that afternoon I'm signed up for it with this other product called Broker Metrics from Terradatum. It's an entire system that graphs out the whole market, gives the agents the tools that they need to present to their buyers and sellers and that sort of thing, of saying exactly where the market is. What's median house prices doing month over month? What is the sales data doing? What's our absorption rates of houses for sales versus solds? I mean, it's a wonderful product just to simply lay it out for your sellers and buyers to say, here's the market, here's what's going on. It makes a picture so people can understand it. But through that tool also helps us in understanding the marketplace, understanding what our market shares are. It gives us the ability to, on the fly, figure out market share based upon any sort of criteria, from all the way to zip codes, to towns, to counties, to the entire MLS areas. It's a great tool for recruiting, so we can go through and look and see who are our key agents who would most benefit from our RE/MAX organization. We can sort our people locally by saying who's growing most. And by looking at who's growing, we can see who out there would most benefit by being part of our organization. And those are the people that we need to introduce to our systems and to let them know we're here. We had one person, the other tool that we're using, this is a great one too, is the Join RE/MAX tool that we've just introduced at the Broker Owner Conference this year. I've sent one agent in particular who came in yesterday. I'd sent her to that product to show her, to introduce her to RE/MAX before she came in and met with us. And she looked at it and didn't really realize that she didn't know much about her own company. She didn't understand what her figures are. She was just always listening to the rah-rah of her company and how great they are, but never really started looking at it from the business angle of, am I at the right place? Do I have the tools and everything that I need that's right for me? And they pulled back through that, and she started analyzing and saying, I don't even know what the agent count is at my company. I don't know how many offices are in my company, and I've never thought to even ask that question. So all of a sudden she's saying, am I at the right place? I mean, maybe I do need to look a little deeper into what the other organizations are offering.
Right.
So
the Broker Matrix product, Chuck is really good with numbers and graphing and computer stuff, and I tend to be much more visual. And what I gain from that, and I know that a lot of the agents and even the customers, the buyers and sellers, is that when it lays out the trends in a graph, and it's so clear to see the line, it's either going up or it's going down. And we like it when we see the agents' lines going up, and we know that in the community, those are the agents that we want. But when our agents use this as a tool to present to the sellers, if you wait and drop your price too long, you can see that line's going down for what people are getting for their homes. So you're better off pricing it just right now rather than waiting 2 months where you're going to get even less for it. So
we take every month and we upload a whole new set of graphs for the agents. So every month they've got a fresh set of graphs that they can look at. They can see what the market's doing, and it keeps it more timely for them is what it does. So far we've got over 2,000 graphs that we've put up on the system, and it is a powerful tool. Our market share for our listings sold, 22% of our listings are listed in the last 45 days, and right now we're running 67% of our sales are properties that were listed within the last 45 days. And we're in a tough real estate market, and that's a number that's just not seen in this marketplace at all. Mm-hmm. But having those tools that help an agent in the local marketplace helps them be more successful, and it's actually pushing our market share. Our market share is approaching 40% right now, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Jack, can you show us the listing presentation book that you provide the agents?
Yeah, this is one of the things that we've done, and we've helping the agents have a tool, have something right in front of them. So they can easily go right through here. We've put in some pages in here for them with some key features that RE/MAX International offers. So we can show, they have these pieces where they can show what the growths are, what our share of voice is in the marketplaces and such. So we've got all these pieces put together. All of our products that we're doing for getting our listings in the internet. So we're doing the lead generation there. But we also take this entire system and put in a number of our graphs right here for the agents. So it's already printed off our system. It's available on the fly where the agents can pick things up. But here's some key points, some of the more major graphs, so the agents can look more prepared when they walk in to their listing presentation. Here's some information that we have on the marketplace, and here's something that's been put together for us.
We also, of course, following what so many of the agents, you pick up the ideas at the conventions. We encourage them to personalize it, so it's not just just about RE/MAX. They can personalize it, but everything takes time. So it's nice when you can hand something to an agent and you know that everything that is in there is going to be positive for them, where they can find a way to apply it positively.
How do you communicate with prospective recruits?
Communication with prospective recruits. A lot of that we do monthly emails. So we keep the agents updated with what's going on in our office and our market and what we're doing, so that way they can get a feel for what's going on. They're getting our emails too for our, we actually open up the Coaching Hall of Fame event. We actually have set up a space at the local Holiday Inn. We've got the whole conference room set up. We've had as many as 70 people show up just each month for the Coaching Hall of Fame. These are great events for education, for the agents to learn, to take nuggets home. But we also open it up to agents that are in other companies so they can get an experience of what we have to offer and what RE/MAX offers as well. Test drive the car. And it's blown away most people have ever, or everyone that's ever been in with those. So we pull people come into those things as well. We also, I have got a standing order for the RE/MAX Times. I mean, that was the thing that brought us into it, and every quarter when the RE/MAX Times comes in, those go out to agents just to again show what RE/MAX has to offer. We'll put in our some of our latest emails, our things that are in there. We'll format it in a flyer format, so if they didn't get the email, they'd see it that way as well too. So,
And the Coaching Hall of Fame has turned out to be a real great recruiting tool. And I think it is because, like Chuck said, it gives the other agents an opportunity to kind of test drive the car. They come, they see that they are getting training. You know, a lot of the other companies in our area try to boast that they are the trainers, and that people shouldn't come to RE/MAX. They have to go to the other companies first to get their training there. And the Coaching Hall of Fame just dispels that it's just not the case. Between the 100 Days to Greatness and the Coaching Hall of Fame, no, we are the leaders in training. You know, RE/MAX is a leader in training.
And nothing replaces a personal phone call. So in that Broker Metrics product, it gives me the ability to roll right in, very quick, very easy, sort the people very fast, and you can pull up and get the contact information, the phone numbers, home addresses, email addresses, all that stuff very, very quickly. And it takes so much time away from what we have to do, and lets us do what we need to do, which is just being in contact with people.
Right.
Tell us a little bit more about how you organize the Coaching Hall of Fame event and what you do for it.
We start out the evening time. We always open the doors up a half an hour early. We usually have people showing up a little bit earlier than that, and give, again, a little networking time. Everything we do, we want to focus around some networking is what we want to do. So we have some time for people to come in. We go to Panera is what we do, and we have their Via Packs are wonderful. They're real simple, easy. They actually deliver right to us. We got salads and sandwiches and cookies, and we'll have some pizzas delivered. So, you know, it becomes a nice little event for people, and that afternoon is what it does. And then we roll at 7 o'clock when the Coaching Hall of Fame goes. We've got it set up with a big projector and a big screen and that sort of thing, and sound system in there. So you know, everybody can fully see what's going on and hear what's happening as well. So
It's kind of like a little mini recharge for the agents, you know, and a lot of times you just need to hear things over and over again. Maybe, usually they'll pick up something new, but sometimes it's just hearing the same thing and a reminder that, oh, that's right, I need to be doing this. So it works well for that. We do it at the local Holiday Inn Express, which is just right, literally a block away from our office. They have a nice big room. When we were thinking about building our building, we had seen a lot of offices where they actually built a training room into their office. But when we got right down to the dollars and cents of it, what it cost to build a room like that within our office that wouldn't be used that often, and we compared the pricing of what it cost us just to rent the space at the Holiday Inn for one night a month, we thought we'd rather have the open space for the agents here and the training room down there. So that's worked out really, really well for us.
What do you have for office staff?
Oh, office staff. That was this is great. We've got some great staff here. We have our accounting staff that we have in here. We have office managers in both offices. Our office manager here in Warrington does events coordination and all too, and helps us with pulling things together. You know, like the Coaching Hall of Fames and such that we do. We hired on an IT guy as well too, full-time IT staff. That was pivotal for our growth that we needed some help and support. I found myself at the 46 agent, 48 agent count having a very difficult time growing just because of all the overhead and all the things that you needed to know with technology and helping the agents and supporting them with their computers and everything else, that there was just no time left to go out and recruit and build the business and work on it instead of in it. So we couldn't afford him when we hired him, but we knew we needed to do something. So it's like, okay, we've just got to bite the bullet and we've got to do this. We've just got to bring in a full-time IT guy. The agents love him. It's a great tool. I mean, it's one more support vehicle that we're offering the agents with having IT staff and support. We have more abilities to support different things, like we've made servers. We can launch websites on the fly that are the property address, 123mainstreet.com. We can do that in a matter of 20 minutes. We can have a website up for someone. So. It's helped with the voice over IP technologies to be able to support that. We've got Exchange servers now online and such as well, and that helps support the teams and helps them be as productive as they can as well. So
we couldn't afford them, but we couldn't afford not to hire them.
Well, we've got some great staff. They work very long hours. I'm always feeling very bad. They're not 9 to 5ers. They're not clock watchers. They're in early. They stay late. They're very dedicated to the agents and the people that are here. And if there's any element that really helps this company survive and prosper like it has, is the staff. I mean,
right.
you can't replace, I mean, by all the computers and everything else in the world, it doesn't replace a smiling face and somebody there helping you and inspiring you to do more.
Yeah, their dedication clearly shows. Everybody appreciates it. When we go home, it's a little game. We hate to leave before they leave, so, you know, we're always saying, okay, it's time to go home now, you know, when are we going home? But, you know, no one goes home until the job's done.
How are you planning to communicate with the media to let them know that there's an upside to a down market?
Well, this is one thing that we're adding into our program here now. We're putting somebody in place who's going to do some public relations with the local media around in our marketplace, getting press releases out. We feel like that's the next step that we really need to do to continue our growth efforts, getting the name out there and staying in the face of everyone. So with the latest, with some of our sales that we've had, it's come to our attention. You know, we've got people that are buying their first homes, people that have been married 40 years, 20 years, never owned a home, never thought they would own a home. So, you know, we're putting this person in play to write an article to put out into the newspaper. You know, we're going to caption the article, the upside to a down market. So, and if we get that out to the media and get them producing positive news on our real estate market, that's going to help the overall market as well. So.
We have a title company, and so I do real estate closings, and I have seen that in just recent weeks, more people actually closing, people that really never believed they were going to be able to buy a home. And because the prices have come down so low, affordability is factored back into the market. And, you know, sometimes the media just, they want to report the negative, and sometimes they like positive, and well, if they're looking for the positive, this is it. It is a buyer's market right now. Like I said, we've closed 3 in the last couple of weeks, and when I finally close the books and say, well, congratulations, and they make a comment like, well, I didn't think I'd ever get here. And you know, I asked them, you mean on buying this house? And they said, no, buying any house. They didn't think they'd ever be able to afford a house. So this is stuff that the public needs to be aware that it is a good time for first-time home buyers to come out and start shopping and taking advantage of the fact that the rates still are low, prices are really low, and you know, market is a real estate market. Real estate has always been a great investment.
Mm-hmm. How do you incorporate this into the market updates you provide the agents?
Chuck loves to watch CNBC.
Oh yeah.
And I enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
But he likes to take the news that they give out daily and put a little bit more of a plain English language so that the agents and I can understand what is going on every day.
Well, we do these. I do these Eagles update, is what we call them. So I try to do them at least 2 or 3 times a week. We're pulling out some information from the news media and the sources that are out there. You know, when we're looking at what is home sales doing, what's household formations doing, and many times these can be very negative pieces of information. But if we can, and we've got a system where we can instantly send out messages to everybody, and within a few seconds they have this. They can now use some language when they're dealing with their consuming public who might be picking up something from the news media side, and they can say, well, you know, this is something that's really great about this that just came out from this article. Some of our agents will just take my name right off the email and just send it right to their customers as well too, which is fine. I mean, again, if it's helping their business, our agents are our customers, and that's our focus in our company, is they are the customer. What can we do to help support them? Every deal matters. Every deal counts. We are doing things that are putting more deals in the pockets, but you know, just one more makes such a big difference in their lives.
Positive twist. Chuck, I think, is a spin master on putting positive on negative. And it's funny, several weeks ago before the rates had dropped, every time there was more negative news coming out, he was just getting happier and happier, and everybody's looking at him like, oh, the sky's about to fall. And he said, no, it has to fall before it's going to get better, so we're that much closer. You know, and he does. He always gets very positive, and so everybody else was, you know, feeling the negativity that was in the area and on the media. And so now we were all saying, okay, oh good, it's about to collapse, you know. So we knew that meant it was about to get better. So,
has the 100 Days to Greatness program been successful for you?
Yes.
Yeah, it's been very successful. We've actually put together, Helen and I both are certified mentors with the program. When the program was introduced to us at the Broker Owner Conference, what was it, a year or so ago? It's been a little while ago as well. We knew that, you know, there's only so much that we can take on our plate and challenge ourselves with. So we actually put a little word out to all the agents that we've got a training opportunity. You know, would anybody be interested? We had a number of agents all call us and email us, but I had like 3 people that were consistently every day wanting more information. So we actually put together a training team with those that were passionate about training and doing stuff. So we have a training team that's been put together as well, and they're running with a 100 Days to Greatness program, and they're doing a fabulous job with it. They're pulling in outside speakers. They're adding to the program. The program is a great program, but they're value adding to it by bringing in outside speakers, talking about how a termite inspection works, to a home inspection, how those things work, to how to fill out a contract, how to do the listing presentation, that sort of thing. So a number of our own agents have been some of the speakers into it, talking about, you know, the listing presentation, how to present a contract and such as well. So it's really been a great program that's been put together.
And they put in their own financial investment into becoming trainers. So they all went out to Carlsbad, had their training there, and came back. And we do require, when we have a lot of new agents that come on with our office, if they're brand new agents, brand new licensees, then they are required to take the 100 Days to Greatness program. And that's where the value added also comes in, because the 100 Days shows them how to build their business, how to gain their business, how to, you know, continue to build it and grow it. And then our trainers add to that and teach them, you know, just filling in the contracts. A lot of things that the regular real estate school doesn't exactly teach you. So, and then everybody also has the opportunity just to take the regular 100 Days to Greatness. So it's worked out well. Mm-hmm. It's worked out very well.
Mm-hmm. And it's given us the opportunity to bring brand new agents more out. And in the past, before we had the 100 Days to Greatness, I would only allow a new agent coming in if they had somebody to mentor them, because there's only so much time in the day, and there's a lot of support you need for the people that are with your organization. And a new person does require more, is what I mean, they will need more time, more energy put towards them. So with the 100 Days program, it allows us to expand our opportunities to more people to come into the business and join up. We have a fairly large board of realtors. We're 800 and some members is what we are now. And for the past 7 years, we've had Rookie of the Years. And we've had multiple people up for the award in most years. So, and I think it speaks some volumes for, you know, how we're pushing the agents to do more and giving them what they need to get their business rolling.
Yeah. Again, it just dispels that rumor that, you know, RE/MAX doesn't do training. You know, RE/MAX has to be doing something right if we're ending up with 7 Rookie of the Year agents in our association. So,
what is your role as leaders of RE/MAX Regency?
I believe our role in leadership is to inspire everyone, to inspire the agents, inspire the staff, help them set their goals. Most people join us, they come to us, they have no idea what they can really accomplish. We have many people that have joined us who have felt like, well, this is going to be my last ditch effort in real estate, and you know, I hear what you guys are doing and I'll give it a shot and see what happens. And these are the people in particular that are running our largest teams now and are producing a lot of real estate now. They're taking that inspirational points, they're applying it into their business. Part of our role is offering and putting the training sessions out in front of people. You know, these coaching Hall of Fames, to me, it's not an option. These are things we have to do to help the agents be all they can be. You know, all of a sudden you start watching the agents, they change their goals. They change their passions. They all of a sudden will raise that bar. And when they raise that bar, they achieve it. And then you see the bar going up again. And that's the fun part of this whole thing, is watching people actually achieve things that they've set out to do.
Yeah.
Do you have a program where agents can share information that they've learned at a RE/MAX convention?
Oh yeah, every year, before and after the RE/MAX conventions, we do roundtables in the office is what we do. We'll have times where we all gather. We'll set a time and say, okay, Tuesday at 4 o'clock, we're all going to get together, and we'll just, who wants to show up here, we're going to have some information. We encourage the agents who have been to the convention to come and talk about the things that they learned at the convention that year, to share their ideas for the people that didn't end up attending the convention, so they can get the feeling and get some of the benefits from it. Also, we will do this a couple of times prior to convention each year, where we'll have some time where we'll have some of the agents who have been convention to sit down and talk about the convention and all the things that they're going to see, what they're going to get out of it, what they've brought out of it, how it's improved their lives, how it's improved their business, so it gets everybody excited and ready to go.
Gets them charged up. Yeah. And, you know, it becomes, they start giving them tips. Well, you know, you don't want to get your room too far down the hall because there's going to be a lot of walking. Make sure you bring comfortable shoes. You know, the classes, you've got to plan it. You know, these classes fill up real early, so make sure you're there early to ensure getting in. Oh, and you can't miss the fashion show lunch. You know, and then their energy, because they just love going to the convention, and it spreads. It spreads, and then all the other agents get the feeling that they really want to go as well.
In closing, what advice would you give to other broker owners?
Take advantage of everything that International has to offer. Don't just buy into a franchise and not use all of the tools that they give you. It's a shame. It's right there. You're paying for it. And I really believe that Dave and you, or you and Dave, believe in offering the support to us as broker owners. And you've got to just grab it and run with it. You guys have already tested it out. I'm sure, I mean, the way that everything that you offer, when we pick it up and we run with it, it works. And it's not a gamble. It's not a test. It's not an experiment. We know if you guys say, do this, and we do this, it's going to work. And we just really heavily rely on International. That's our job, and then we expect our agents to help rely on us. So it kind of just goes all the way down the chain.
I would say, know your value proposition. Why are you in business? What do you offer that no one else offers? And exploit that. We learned from Laverne early on when we first signed up, you know, you don't give it away. If you give something away, what value does it have? If you waive fees, if you waive an initiation fee, if you don't do things, what do you have? We shouldn't be competing on the fact of being price-driven. You need to be competing on the fact of what value you're adding back to the public, to the agents. That's what helps the agents become more successful. Agents don't, and people, and many brokers, I'm sure, don't have a clue of what it is that they exactly need to really excel. When you plug in and you start going to the training sessions and you start taking everything that you have, all of a sudden you understand and you have a better knowledge of what your proposition is and why you're in business and how to help everyone excel and go to new levels. And when you help everyone else achieve and go to new levels, you yourself end up at new levels as well too. So know your value proposition, know why you're in business, and know what your competitive advantage is, no matter what it is.
I believe every broker owner out there has an opportunity, whether they're in a 10 agent office or 250 agent office, to present their value proposition, and they just need to know that. I think that if you approach the business in that manner, we all succeed. We all win. RE/MAX wins. The broker owner wins. If we try to hit it at a price, shopping for price, then it just doesn't help anybody. None of us gain. So Yeah, everybody, just learn what it is. If you're a niche market, if you're a niche broker, you know, exploit that.
Chuck and Helen, thank you so much for all the information you shared with us today.
Thank you, Gail.
Thank you. We really
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks.
And thanks to all of you for joining us on the REMAX Satellite Network. Be sure to join us next time as we take you inside another great office.